Hey, my name's Jack, and if you ever felt fat, broke, and or stupid before, then this channel's for you. I've already recommended Chris Guillebeau's book, Side Hustle, his book, Born for This. And today, I have a third book, The $100 Startup. Reinvent the way you make a living, do what you love, and create a new future. Now, together, all three of these books are fantastic, and this one, as a standalone, is also pretty fantastic, and I highly recommend it. Now, there are two critical themes in the $100 Startup. The first one is freedom. Everybody wants freedom, of course, and the key is to identify what we really want and figure out how to make it a reality. The second critical theme is value, right? We need to create something that helps other people. And when we create value for other people, we can achieve freedom for ourselves. So, freedom is what we want. Value is the way to get our freedom. Now, the biggest takeaway that I got from this book is that we should not waste our time living somebody else's life. And what does that mean? It means having a 9-to-5 job and helping somebody else kind of make their dreams come true, right? Why not spend our days and spend our time making our own dreams come true? And we can do that by starting a startup or a side hustle. And the beautiful thing is that you can do it pretty cheaply, right? For as little as $100 or even less, you can get started. Now, these three books, among others, helped me get inspired to start Fat, Broke, and Stupid. And the YouTube channel, the video that you're watching right now is all thanks to these books and a few others as well. And I got started for maybe $100. Right? Very, very small financial commitment. But I was able to give it a shot and see what happens. And you can do the same with whatever you're passionate about and whatever you're interested in making some money off of. And of course, we're helping people as well. Now, the difference between a hobby and a side hustle or a startup is that a hobby is something you do because you like doing it, and a side hustle or a startup is something that will actually generate some money, right? It could be a hobby, but if you're making money with it, it's a startup, it's a side hustle. Now, to have a startup, you're going to need three things. First, you're going to need a product or a service, something that you can offer to the world. Second is you're going to need people who are willing to pay for this product or service. Right? You can have the greatest thing in the world, but if no one wants it and no one wants to pay for it, then you got nothing. And the third is you need a way to get paid. It could be cash, could be PayPal, could be credit card, could be something else. But you need a product or a service, people who will pay for it, and a way to get paid. And if you've got those three things, well, you're 3 steps ahead of most people. Now, the book's broken up into 3 sections, and I'll tackle those sections a little bit for you right now. I don't want to give too much away because there's a lot of great information in this book and a lot of great stories of people who've been successful with their own $100 startups. So get the book and read the book, but I'll give you just a taste of what's in each one of the sections. And the first section is called Unexpected Entrepreneurs, and my favorite quote from this part of the book is that an ounce of action is worth a ton of theory. And again, perfectionism, paralysis by analysis. Most people fail because they never get started to begin with. So take action and make something happen. Biggest takeaway from this part of the book. How can you do that? Well, you can look for ways to converge your passions and your skills with things that people want. And things that other people are maybe interested in as well. And it's important to realize that sometimes what people say they want and what they actually want isn't the same thing. And if you can figure out the difference, wow, you've got something special. A great example is at a restaurant, right? If you go to a restaurant, the chef comes out and says he's got a great meal prepared for you, and he invites you back to cook it with him. Some people may get excited about that, but most people will be put off because people don't necessarily go to a restaurant to learn how to cook. They go to a restaurant to have somebody else take care of them for the night while they have a delightful evening with their friends and can totally relax and unwind without having to take care of the cooking work and the cleanup work, right? So what do they really want in this case? If you know what that is, you can be successful. And good businesses provide solutions to problems. So If you're walking around the street or you're with some friends and you hear about a problem that people are having, and if you can find a solution to it, well, you've got yourself the beginnings of a $100 startup, or maybe even something more special than that. So where to begin? Well, you can create a possibilities list and use the decision-making matrix that is outlined in the book to help you decide what would be a good startup for you. And all of that information, of course, is in the book. So buy it and read it. As with any business, as opposed to a hobby, you're going to need a strategy, and the more focused, the better. And the way to do that is to know your audience, right? Really get inside their heads and think about what they need and what they want and what they really need and really want. And that'll help you formulate a strategy for your $100 startup and get you hitting the ground running on a really good foot. And in the end, no matter what you're offering, whether it's a service or a product, don't persuade people to buy it, right? Invite them to benefit from it. And the difference between the benefits and the features of your product and service is a huge thing. And if you don't know what that is, you can read all about it in basically all three of these books here. But focus on the benefits and invite people to benefit from what you're offering. The second part of the book is called Taking It to the Streets, and my favorite quote from this part of the book is that in the battle between planning and action, action wins. It always wins. You got to take action. You have to plan too, of course. Planning is important, and having a strategy and a focused strategy will take you very far. But if you don't take any action, then nothing will ever end up happening, and you'll be in the same place 5 years from now, thinking about all the wonderful businesses that you could have had if you'd only taken the action to do it. So start taking action is just step one. And have a bias towards action and a plan as you go attitude. Right? Things will probably change as you get more experienced and you start to know your ideal customer a little bit better. You'll need time to adapt and adjust, and that's perfectly fine, right? No one starts a business 100% knowing how things are going to turn out. Totally normal, totally natural. Plan as you go, and that'll be a big step forward for you. As you're planning as you're going, always think about this question, and that's, how can I help people? How can I provide value for people? If you're doing that, if your product or service is helping people and providing value and solving problems for them, wow, you got something really special and something that people will be willing to pay for. And assuming that you've got a way to get paid, there you go. You've got all three things needed for a $100 startup. Now that you do have a product or a service out there, you're going to have to hustle a little bit. And that can be uncomfortable for some people. I know it is for me. It's getting easier the more I'm doing it. But you have to get the word out there, and you have to communicate with the world that you have this wonderful product and service available to them, and that this is the way that it'll benefit their lives, and these are all the amazing solutions that they offer to all the problems that people have. So communicate with your audience and communicate with the world and let them know how you're helping them. The key is, it may sound obvious, but is to have something worth talking about. So make sure that you do have a solid product or a service that does provide value and does help people. With that, the marketing and the hustling should be pretty straightforward, and it'll almost take care of itself. And again, remember, a business is not a hobby. A hobby is something that you do for fun, you enjoy it, you're passionate about it, you do it for free, and in fact, you do it for free. That's why it's a hobby. A business is a business. So you need to have a plan to make some money. And that might be uncomfortable for some people to talk about, and maybe, intentionally you don't want money making to be the goal. But if you have a business and you have a startup, you need to make some money somehow. So you're going to have to think about that. And very important, to have a $100 startup, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, and in fact it's not. Some businesses do require massive investments of money, especially at the beginning. But you probably have more resources available to you already than you may even realize, whether it's family and friends, or connections, or the magic of loose ties in your social network. There are people out there who either have the skills needed, or ideas, or even financial capital, or the equipment and the resources that you need to get started. So don't be afraid to reach out and see how other people can help you as you begin your process to your $100 startup, and get creative about finding it. Right? It's out there. You just got to look for it and get creative, and I guarantee you'll find some resources that you didn't know you had. The third section of this book is called Leverage and Next Steps, and my favorite quote comes from none other than Steve Jobs himself, and it's that time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. It's a beautiful quote, and it may sound like an ideal fantasy to some people, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a reality if you take the steps to make it a reality. And as you're beginning and starting your $100 startups and your side hustles, you may find that starting is a lot more difficult than growing the business, and that's totally fine and natural. A lot of people experience it, and you'll see examples of it here in the book. The most important thing is as you're growing that you continue to experiment and tweak the business. You know, what's working, what's not working, what can be made better, what do you need to not do anymore and just get rid of. If you've got 3 products out there and one of them's going really well, why not focus 100% on that one product and forget the other 2? These are all things that you'll discover as the business is growing and as you get more experience with it. Remember, you own the business doesn't own you, and that's one of the reasons for starting your own business, is that you're in control of your finances, you're in control of your time, you're in control of your life. So remember that it does not own you, you own it. It's okay to stay small, it's okay to say no, it's okay to grow massively large and sell the business for billions of dollars, whatever you want it to be, it's yours, right? It's your dream, you're living the life that you want to live, and you're creating a new future for yourself the way that you want it to be. So there is no set model or recipe that you have to follow. Everything is okay, right? As long as you have a product or a service and you're helping people and people want to buy it and you have a way to get paid, you've got yourself a $100 startup, you've got yourself a side hustle. And then from there, you know, it's yours. Do with it as you wish. Don't be afraid to listen to your gut. Don't be afraid to look at the data and the numbers and monitor your progress and see what's working well and see what's not, and to make fine-tune adjustments as you go. Now, I'll leave you with these last couple of ideas from the book, and that it's you don't need permission to pursue your dream, right? It's your dream. Go for it. Why not? I'm going for it, and I really hope you do too, and that you're inspired to do the same, whatever your passion or interest may be. The biggest challenge will probably end up being you versus your own inertia and your own fear. And I definitely experienced some of that, and most people do. It's totally normal. But the good news is that you're in control of your fear and inertia, which means you can get over it and you can make progress, which is wonderful news for all of us. So you know what you need to do. You know the resources that are available to help you make it happen. No more talking. Time for some action. Go out, get the book, read the book, and I wish you all the very best. If you'd like more information on the book and even a free PDF summary of the book, you can get one at my website, www.fatbrokestupid.com. I wish you all the best. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.